Welcome, distinguished viewers, to a gentlemanly exploration of what is, without a doubt, the greatest wager in modern personal computing. I am absolutely thrilled to be your host today as we unpack a technological drama of, well, Shakespearean proportions. Today's explainer takes us from the impenetrable fortresses of today's tech monarchy straight to the daring, billion-dollar gambits of visionary challengers. So grab a comfortable seat and let's dive right in, shall we?
Consider a rather thrilling proposition for a moment. For over 15 years now, that glowing little rectangle in your pocket has dictated exactly how you interact with the digital world. But what if our screen-bound era is actually coming to a close? I mean, what if the device that finally dethrones the smartphone doesn't have a screen at all? It's a fascinating question. And to really grasp the stakes of this looming battle, we first need to understand the titans currently sitting comfortably on the throne.
Section 1. Titans of Tech Culture. To understand what these challengers are up against, we must examine the formidable, classical age of tech dominance. We're talking about empires built on deeply ingrained cultures of innovation. Take Jeff Bezos' philosophy, for instance. He famously said, "We are stubborn on vision, we are flexible on details." This mindset forged an impregnable culture of long-term thinking and absolutely relentless customer obsession. It's a culture that flat-out refuses to be distracted by short-term, quarter-to-quarter pressures, focusing instead on a horizon 5, 10, or even 20 years out.
And this philosophy translates into an absolute academic marvel. It's so profound, Harvard Business School literally wrote a case study on it. You see, invention at Amazon isn't treated as some happy accident. It's a highly formalized, rigorous process. They don't just sit around hoping for good ideas, they engineer the very environment required to produce them.
I like to call this rigorous process Amazon's arsenal of innovation. It relies on a highly structured machinery. You've got the S team for broad strategy, those famous 6-page written memos that completely replace chaotic presentations, and the bar raisers, objective third-party interviewers who make sure every single new hire elevates the company's standard. Add in the 2-pizza rule to keep teams small and agile, and two-way door decisions, allowing for rapid, reversible experimentation, and, well, you have an impregnable fortress of efficiency.
Now, just across the valley sits Apple's fortress. Their moat isn't purely logistical, no, it's built on supreme aesthetic design and an unparalleled iOS user experience. Consumers instantly associate Apple's thoughtful design with premium value, creating an ecosystem that's so cohesive, so attractive, it commands intense, almost fierce loyalty. Look, these incumbents, Apple, Google, Amazon, they have billions of users and bottomless war chests. Challenging them? It seems like absolute madness.
Section 2. Ghosts of Hardware Past.
But before we look at the modern challengers who dared to try, we really must take a brief, tasteful stroll through the graveyard of hubris. Honestly, it's hard not to offer a polite chuckle at this timeline of spectacular flops. Back in 2013, the HTC First, remember the much-hyped Facebook phone, was such a commercial disaster its price was swiftly dropped from $99 to a mere 99 cents. Fast forward to early 2024, we see the Humane AI pin launching with severe bugs and literal overheating issues. And shortly after that, the Rabbit R1 arrived, plagued by a frustratingly slow physical scroll wheel and very limited locational awareness.
The crucial lesson from these ghosts is crystal clear. Simply putting AI in a lovely little box does not guarantee success against the status quo. Without the vast, native on-device ecosystems of Apple or Google to actually plug into, these novel hardware attempts quickly devolved into expensive, slow paperweights. They were forced to process everything in the cloud, resulting in, quite frankly, dreadful latency.
Section 3. The Jony Ive Defection. But what if the modern challengers aren't just plucky startups? What if they possess the very pedigree that built the incumbent empires in the first place? We are currently witnessing a massive shifting of the tides of talent. On one side, you have the old guard, Apple's hardware team, methodically working on smart home devices and AI-enhanced AirPods. But on the other side, a spectacular new venture has emerged. OpenAI. Yes, the creators of ChatGPT are pushing into hardware. And they're doing it alongside Jony Ive, the legendary former Apple design chief who literally penned the lines of the iPhone. Just look at the sheer scale of this brain drain. In a single recent month, OpenAI hired over 40 people for their new devices group, pulling them directly from Apple's ranks. We're talking about highly distinguished experts here, folks. People like former Apple industrial design head Evans Hankey and hardware executive Tang Tan.
OpenAI is poaching talent from nearly every vital Apple department: silicon, camera engineering, audio, and even Vision Pro development.
And OpenAI isn't just hiring individuals. They bought the entire ship. $6.5 billion. Let that sink in. That staggering number is the acquisition cost OpenAI paid for Jilani Ive's secretive AI hardware startup. It is an astronomical sum that proves Sam Altman and OpenAI are not just testing the waters, they are attempting to buy the ocean.
And what exactly is their audacious goal? To ship 100 million screenless AI companion devices. They envision a third core device that sits gracefully alongside your laptop and phone, intimately aware of your surroundings. The grand irony here, of course, is that Jilani Ive, the very man who helped addict humanity to the smartphone screen, is now designing the exact device intended to wean us off it. You really can't write this stuff.
Section 4. Enter the digital butler.
Now, beautiful hardware is merely an empty shell without a brilliant mind inside. Enter operator. This represents a massive leap forward into something called a CUA, or computer using agent. Think of it as the ultimate invisible butler. It doesn't just chat with you or write polite emails. It actively uses a computer on your behalf. It navigates the web without needing special behind-the-scenes APIs. It interacts with the digital world exactly as you or I would.
Let's break down the anatomy of this remarkable piece of software. First, you have the eyes. Operator literally takes screenshots of web pages, processing the raw pixel data to recognize buttons, menus, and text fields. Second, the brain. It uses GPT-4o's chain of thought reasoning to map out the steps of a complex task. And finally, the hands. It executes that plan by controlling a virtual mouse and keyboard to click and type. So if you tell it to find a table for two this Thursday at a highly rated Indian restaurant, it doesn't just give you a list to look at. It actually goes to the website and books the table for you.
However, such luxury comes at a rather steep price. While a standard AI chatbot costs roughly $20 a month and provides you with answers, Operator, offering this do-it-with-me execution and interface navigation, commands a massive $200 monthly premium. It begs a gentlemanly query. For the average consumer, is the sheer convenience of automated digital chores truly worth a tenfold increase in price? For businesses and power users, well, perhaps. But for the rest of us, that remains to be seen.
Naturally, handing a digital butler your credit card and your personal email access requires immense trust. Thankfully, OpenAI has graciously implemented some absolutely essential safeguards. Operator is designed to explicitly ask for your confirmation before executing sensitive actions, like transferring funds or hitting send on a crucial email. It proactively blocks unsavory corners of the web, and it features real-time monitoring to pause execution if it detects any malicious prompt injections or suspicious activity. So your digital estate, it seems, is quite well protected.
Section 5. The Ultimate Smartphone War.
And so, all the pieces are perfectly arranged on the board for a thrilling final standoff. The incumbents, Apple and Google, clearly hold the high ground. They possess billions of loyal users and the absolute power of native developer frameworks. If they release a local, on-device AI model, millions of apps can adopt it overnight. Conversely, the challengers, OpenAI and Jilani Ive, are betting absolutely everything on a radical paradigm shift. A beautifully designed, screenless, intent-based hardware experience, paired with the sheer brute force reasoning power of the world's most advanced AI models.
Which leaves us with this final, profound question to ponder. Will the entrenched tech royalty of today, with their magnificent ecosystems and beautiful glowing screens, be overthrown by the invisible butlers of tomorrow? Are we truly ready to put down our phones and simply speak our intentions into the ether? It's a gamble worth billions, and frankly, we have front row seats to the outcome. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, my distinguished guests. Until next time, keep questioning the world around you.